Brad, were you impressed in which the fashion Detroit got that win over the Bucks, and how do you think they're going to fare in San Francisco?
Oh, guys, I feel so warm and fuzzy just thinking about Detroit being in the title game in the NFC. Who would have thunk it? Seriously. But I think they're going to get cut down a size here. San Francisco, far and away the better team on both ends of the football, defensively, offensively. I've said this until I was blue in the face in the regular season and into the playoffs. They've been a top 10 team in EPA data on the offensive and defensive side. Just too many weapons. And I'm more concerned for Detroit on the back end defensively. Baker Mayfield dissected them most of the game. If that version of the Lions team travels, they could get bludgeoned by, again, a very balanced and I feel better San Francisco team.
It does make me a little upset to have to say this because he is a VOLS, but Cam Sutton has got to pick his game up in this one against the Niners for sure. And we obviously are going to keep an eye on Deebo Samuel. Right. That was a huge out there for the Niners in their game over the weekend against the Packers. Obviously, that one was much more snug than some anticipated. Came down to a Jordan Love interception for Niners to seal the deal there in the Bay Area. This one, I think, can be a little bit closer. I would take this as more of a field goal situation because they talked about it briefly in Jared Goff's post-game interview. He's from this area. All of his friends and family are going to be there. He's had plenty of experience playing in that arena as well because he played for the Rams, so he was in that NFC West division for quite some time. I just think that he's going to be able to rise to the occasion and almost feel like they have less pressure on them because they're not at home.
Yeah, that part too, but then also more pressure on San Francisco because San Francisco is supposed to be in this position, #1 overall seed in the NFC. They're at home, so you look at them and with the Detroit Lions coming into this situation, Detroit is playing carefree. This is house money for them because they took care of what they needed to at home. Now they go on the road with all the momentum on their side, and as much as we saw Baker Mayfield carve up that Detroit Lions secondary, we also saw Jordan Love carve up that 49ers secondary and what he was able to do besides that, game-sealing interception that he threw. I don't know what was going on. He channeled his inner Brett Favre by throwing across his body with that one. But Jared Goff has to feel good knowing, as Danny mentioned, the experience that he has against the 49ers, but then also this receiving group that he has, and it was across the board from what we saw what he did against Tampa Bay. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Josh Reynolds. So many guys were a factor in the passing game for Detroit. So I like this, and I like Detroit covering the spread at +6.5 in this one. I might even sprinkle a little bit on the money line just to play around with some things at +240. Why not? Why not?
I'm going to stay ahead of the curve on Brad's SGP here because that total is at 51 when it stands right now. San Francisco 3rd in points per game in the NFL. Detroit finished 5th. So these teams like to score, and Detroit gave up the 23rd most amount of points per game in the regular season as well. So he's probably going to build in a safety first, bring it down to about 45, 43, but this is just my prediction for later on in the week.